This is Dr. Praba Venkat, Professor, Department of Anatomy, Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital, Krompet, Chennai. I have 17 plus years of experience in teaching anatomy, have 26 research papers in hand, contributed to 1 textbook, having 5 undergoing research projects, and a member of 5 academic bodies. In this session, we are going to see about the boundaries and contents of anterior triangle. Before that, we have to see what are triangles of neck. If you see the side of the neck, it is quadrangular in shape. It is divided into anterior and posterior triangular spaces by a muscle sternocleidomastoid. The anterior triangular space is what is called as the anterior triangle of neck. That we are going to see now. First, let's see about the surface landmarks of anterior triangle. The sternocleidomastoid muscle, the anterior median plane of the neck, hyoid bone, the anterior and posterior bellies of digastric muscle, the mastoid process, base of the mandible, ankle of the mandible, and the imaginary plane that is joining the ankle of the mandible to the mastoid process. Let's see about the boundaries of anterior triangle. The anterior triangle is anteriorly bounded by the anterior median plane of the neck, posteriorly bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The apex is facing downwards. It is present over the sternum where the sternocleidomastoid muscle and the anterior median plane of the neck is meeting. The base is formed by the base of the mandible, ankle of the mandible, and an imaginary plane or line that is joining the ankle of the mandible with the mastoid process. If you see the roof of the anterior triangle, it is formed by the skin, superficial fascia, and the deep fascia. The deep fascia here is the inversing layer of deep cervical fascia, and superficial fascia contains a few structures like platysma, the cervical branch of facial nerve, and a few lymph nodes. Let's see the subdivisions of anterior triangle. The anterior triangle is divided into 4 subdivisions by 2 muscles. They are the anterior and posterior bellies of digastric muscle and the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. The subdivisions are submental triangle, digastric triangle, carotid triangle, and muscular triangle. Let's see the triangles one by one. First, let's see about the boundaries and contents of submental triangle. The submental triangle is a median unpaired triangle bounded on either side by the anterior belly of digastric. The base is present over the body of the hyoid bone and the apex is present over the chin. If you see the floor of the submental triangle, it is formed by 2 mylohyoid muscles and the median raphe formed by the mylohyoid muscle. Let's see the contents of the submental triangle. It is starting with the lymph nodes. We have a few lymph nodes, the submental lymph nodes within the submental triangle. We have a few submental veins and the beginning part of the anterior jugular vein. Apart from that, we have the central part of the lower lip within the submental triangle, the adjoining part of the oral cavity, the gum, and also the tip of the tongue. Let's see about the muscular triangle. The muscular triangle is so called because it is the contents are only muscles, so it is called as the muscular triangle. If you see the boundaries of muscular triangle, anteriorly it is limited by the anterior median plane. Postero-superiorly, it is bounded by the superior belly of omohyoid. Postero-inferiorly, it is bounded by the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. If you see the contents of the muscular triangle, I have already told you, it has only muscles as its contents. The sternohyoid starting from sternum to the hyoid bone, sternothyroid starting from sternum to the thyroid cartilage, thyrohyoid, thyrocartilage to the hyoid bone, and also the omohyoid muscle. So we have finished the muscular triangle too. Let's see about the digastric triangle. The digastric triangle is so named because it is a space present between the anterior and posterior bellies of digastric muscle and also the base of the mandible. If you see the boundaries of digastric triangle, antero-inferiorly it is bounded by the anterior belly of digastric. Postero-inferiorly it is bounded by the posterior belly of digastric. The base is formed by the base of the mandible, ankle of the mandible, and an imaginary line joining the ankle of the mandible with the mastoid process. We have already seen about the roof. If you see the floor is formed by 3 muscles here. Anteriorly, the floor is made by the mylohyoid muscle, and in the middle it is formed by the hyoglossus muscle. Posteriorly, it is formed by a small part of the middle constrictor muscle. Let's see the contents of the digastric triangle. Digastric triangle is a very big triangle, means it has a lot of contents. So for convenience, we are dividing the digastric triangle into two parts, anterior and posterior parts, by a ligament. By keeping a ligament as a landmark, that is what is the stylomandibular ligament. So let's see about the contents in the anterior part of the digastric triangle. The largest member here is the submandibular salivary gland. We have a few lymph nodes belonging to this space, that is the submandibular group of lymph nodes. We have the facial artery, the facial vein, mylohyoid vessels and nerves, and also the hypoglossal nerve as a content in the anterior part of the digastric triangle. If we see the posterior part of the digastric triangle, still we have a lot of structures. So for convenience, we are also dividing it into three parts: the superficial part, middle part, and the deeper part, by the external and internal carotid artery. To see these structures present in the superficial part, we have a part of the parotid gland and the external carotid artery. In the middle part, we have two muscles, the styloglossus and the stylopharyngeus, two nerves, the glossopharyngeal nerve and the pharyngeal branch of vagus, a bony structure, the styloid apparatus, and also a part of the parotid gland in between the arteries. The deeper structures are three in number. They are the internal carotid artery, internal carotid artery, internal jugular vein, and also the vagus nerve in between. So with that, we're finishing the digastric triangle too. Let's see about the carotid triangle. This carotid triangle is very, very important because the great vessels of the neck, the common carotid artery, internal carotid artery, external carotid artery, and also the internal jugular vein, all can be approached in this triangle relatively superficially. So this triangle is important. Let's see about the boundaries of carotid triangle. The carotid triangle is superiorly bounded by the posterior belly of digastric muscle, anteroinferiorly bounded by the superior belly of omohyoid muscle, and also posteriorly bounded by the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. The roof we've already seen along with the roof of the anterior triangle as a whole. Let's see about the floor. The floor of the carotid triangle is formed by four muscles. They are thyrohyoid, middle constrictor, inferior constrictor, and also hyoglossus muscle. Let's see the contents of this carotid triangle. In this picture, you can see a triangular space. Within that, we can see a lot of contents, including the great vessels of the neck. All those great vessels along with the vagus nerve will be covered by a sheath, that is what is called as the carotid sheath. So as a content, the carotid sheath is the first one. Within that, we can see the internal jugular vein laterally, the common carotid artery, external carotid artery, internal carotid artery medially. In between that, we can see the vagus nerve. All will be covered by the carotid sheath. And along with the common carotid artery and the other carotid arteries, we can see the carotid body and the carotid sinus. Apart from that, we can see two more cranial nerves in this triangle, the hypoglossal nerve and also the spinal accessory nerve. Apart from that, we can see a nerve loop over the carotid sheath, that is what is called as the ansa cervicalis. Posterior to the carotid sheath, we can see a long chain of nerve, that is what is the sympathetic chain. And also we can see a few deep cervical lymph nodes here. So with that, we're finishing today's session. Till now, we have seen about the boundaries and contents of anterior triangle and their sub-triangles, the submental triangle, digastric triangle, carotid triangle and the muscular triangle, their boundaries and contents. I hope it is beneficial. Thank you.